Hello, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that gets mentioned in news headlines and fiery parliamentary debates, but is often misunderstood. It's a topic that affects the very foundation of what it means to build a life, to raise a family, and to call a place home. We're talking about the clash in the UK Parliament over the future of indefinite leave to remain, or ILR, and what the debate between a 5-year and a 10-year path to settlement truly means for thousands of families across the United Kingdom.
Extending the pathway from 5 to 10 years for indefinite leave to remain means that many are unable to access their retirement saving funds, which creates financial insecurity for many. And without ILR, my Hong Kong residents in Broxtowe cannot qualify for home fee status at UK universities, delaying academic opportunities. Delaying ILR will also lead to delays in acquiring citizenship, which will impact on the ability or the eligibility for consular protection, emergency foreign assistance, and could leave those affected at risk of transnational repression. I urge the government to retain the 5-year pathway for BMO visa holders who move to this country and move to the UK on that promise. It is fair and it is the right thing to do.
This isn't just about policy and politics. This is about people. It's about the human stories behind the sound bites, the years of uncertainty, and the immense personal cost of navigating a complex immigration system. So, what is indefinite leave to remain? Think of it as the moment a person who has moved to the UK from abroad can finally breathe. It's permanent residency. It grants them the right to live, work, and study here without time restrictions, and to access public services if they need them. For most, it's the final, crucial step before they can apply to become a British citizen. For many years, the standard journey to this point has been 5 years. People on work visas, like skilled workers, or on certain family visas, could build their lives with the expectation that after 5 years of contributing, paying taxes, and putting down roots, they could apply for the security of settlement. But now, that long-established path is at the center of a fierce debate. The UK government has proposed changes, outlined in an immigration white paper, that would double the standard qualifying period for settlement from 5 years to 10 for some migrants. The government argues this is about controlling net migration and ensuring that settlement is a privilege earned through sustained contributions. However, this proposal has sent waves of anxiety through communities across the country. Petitions against the changes have gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures, sparking emotional debates in Parliament. Because for the families caught in the middle, this isn't an abstract numbers game. It's the difference between stability and a decade of precariousness. Let's first understand that a 10-year route to settlement isn't entirely new. It already exists for those who may not meet the strict financial or other requirements of the 5-year routes, but are granted permission to stay on human rights grounds. This can include parents of British children or those with strong private life ties to the UK. But the proposal is to make this longer, more arduous journey the standard for many more people, including skilled workers who are filling vital roles in our economy. The human impact of this existing 10-year route gives us a stark preview of what extending it could mean for many more families. Let's talk about the financial burden, a weight that becomes almost unbearable over a decade. To stay on a 10-year route, a person has to renew their visa every 2.5 years. Each renewal comes with a hefty price tag. There's the application fee itself, which can be over £1,000, and then the immigration health surcharge, an upfront payment to access the NHS that recently increased to £1,035 per adult per year. Now, let's put that into perspective for a family. A report by the Institute for Public Policy Research highlighted that fees for an adult on this route could exceed £12,800 over the decade. For a family of 4, the costs spiral into the tens of thousands of pounds. One analysis suggested a family of 4 could face a bill of £10,000 every few years just for visa fees. Another estimated that a parent and child could pay almost £24,000 in fees before achieving settlement. These are staggering sums. Research from charities like Praxis and the Greater Manchester Immigration Aid Unit shows the devastating consequences. Over half of people surveyed on the 10-year route struggle to afford basic necessities like utility bills and food. 2/3 reported being forced into debt just to pay for their visa costs. Families are faced with an impossible choice. Pay the Home Office to maintain their legal status, or put food on the table and keep a roof over their children's heads. This immense financial pressure is compounded by a constant state of emotional turmoil. A survey found that the majority, A staggering 80% of people on the 10-year route said their mental health had been negatively impacted. Imagine living with a perpetual anxiety that you might not be able to afford the next application, or that a change in circumstances could jeopardize your family's future. One member of parliament powerfully described the feeling of those already on a 5-year path who now face the prospect of it being doubled, comparing it to running a marathon and halfway through realizing the rules have changed. It creates a profound sense of insecurity, even for those who have lived and worked in the UK for more than a decade. And what about the children in these families? For a child, a decade is a lifetime. The first 7 years of life are critical for development and forming a sense of identity. Growing up in a household under constant financial and emotional strain, with a future that feels perpetually uncertain, takes a toll. These children are often British citizens, born and raised here, yet their parents' insecure status casts a long shadow over their lives. The instability can affect their education and their sense of belonging. They are British, yet they are living in a temporary world. Furthermore, many on these long routes have a no recourse to public funds condition attached to their visa. This means that even if they fall on hard times, lose their job, or become ill, they are barred from accessing the social safety net that protects other residents. This policy has been found to push families, including those with children, into destitution. Critics of extending the 10-year route argue it is not only cruel but also counterproductive. For skilled workers, a decade-long wait for security makes the UK a less attractive destination for global talent. Businesses, especially in vital sectors like health and social care, warn that it disrupts their ability to retain staff and plan for the future. It also increases the risk of exploitation, as workers become more dependent on their sponsoring employers for a longer period. Some have even labeled the existing 10-year route as racist, pointing to data showing that the majority of those forced onto it are people of colour. The debate in the UK Parliament is therefore not just a political squabble. It is a fundamental discussion about the kind of society the UK wants to be. Is it a society that welcomes people who contribute, allowing them to build stable lives for their families? Or is it one that creates a two-tier system, where a significant portion of the population lives in a state of prolonged uncertainty, contributing through taxes and work, but denied the security of a permanent home? While the government has stated that partners of British citizens are expected to remain on a 5-year route, and a consultation on the wider changes is promised, thousands of families remain in limbo. They are teachers, nurses, tech workers, and carers. They are our neighbours, our colleagues, and the parents of our children's friends. They have built their lives on a promise of what the future could hold after 5 years. The clash between a 5-year and a 10-year path to settlement is, at its heart, a clash of visions. One sees immigration through a lens of control and earned privileges, while the other sees it through the lived reality of families seeking stability, security, and the simple chance to call home, home. As this debate continues, the lives and futures of thousands hang in the balance. Thank you for watching. If this story has resonated with you, please share this video to help raise awareness of the human side of this important issue. We'll continue to follow the developments and bring you the stories that matter.